What is up? And welcome back to another episode of Dark Side Secrets. All right, guys. So today on the show, we have two special guests. So we have Cole and Grayson from the Mortis FM YouTube channel. How you guys doing?
Dude, I'm doing great.
Doing very well. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. So for those of you guys watching, if you're not familiar with these two guys here, let me bring up their channel real quick. I did link. Oh, that's not it. Oops.
Yo, that's me.
We're gonna get to this in a minute because this is top tier news. But Mortis FM, a Star Wars podcast. I dropped the link to the channel down in the description. Be sure to check them out and subscribe. But why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves and your channel?
Cole, who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
That's all you, man. You got this. You got this.
All right. Well, I'm Grayson. What's going on, guys? And then this is my best friend, Cole, and we really love Star Wars. So that's what we talk about on our podcast. So you can follow us on YouTube, but also on Spotify and Apple Podcast. We are strictly audio only right now. So this is a rare occurrence where you see these handsome mugs of ours, but we just got done talking about Ahsoka. We literally started it right before Ahsoka started. We were just like, you know what, let's do this thing. And so far
Perfect timing.
Yeah, I was about to say perfect timing too.
Yeah, especially because our name is Mortis FM, which was not planned at all, or was it? But yeah, which is also good because today we're talking about Abeloth, but yeah, now we are beyond Ahsoka. We're waiting for the next project, and so we've got a whole list of just Star Wars topics to talk about. Because listen, you can never run out of Star Wars topics. There's so much good stuff to talk about. So yeah, thank you guys for having us. We really appreciate it. We consider this a huge honor. So thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Major step up from when we first started. Did not expect this at all, but
oh man, shout out to T-Man in the chat with the 1999 super sticker. Let's go. So actually I owe T-Man now 3 Wattos. So
my trick's gonna work on me. Only money. My trick's gonna work on me. Only money.
So I owe him those 2 from when he sent 2 super chats when I was playing Spider-Man. And now here's your Watto for the super sticker.
My trick's gonna work on me. Only money.
So basically, anybody who sends a super chat, they get the Watto. So
dude, man, honestly, you're goated for that. 3 Wattos in a row. That's made my day, honestly.
When you said that you owed him 3 Wattos, I just imagined like someone walking into a store and like he's like, I'd like to sell this, and like, yeah, that'll be or I'd like to get this, please. Like that'll be 3 Wattos. And he just takes like 3 little Wattos out of his bag.
Oh man, yes. So Will, do you want to talk about what came up on the screen by accident early?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Look at that, folks. All right, so for all you little freaks in the chat who who said that this was a good idea, this is your fault. You can now, in collaboration with Mousetrap, the dude, the guy, nobody else I'd rather do this shirt with, sent him a selfie of myself. He took like 30 minutes, did this, added the not sponsored, non-copyright, that just happens to look like the Sopranos on the bottom, and the R is the pistol, just like the logo for Sopranos. Dude, so good. This is available now on Mousetrap. This is going to be an extremely limited run because I can't imagine more than 3 people would buy this, including me and including my mom. So if you do pick this up, thank you. Mousetrap is an incredible artist. He does incredible stuff. He's really good buddies with me and Tony. He does awesome stuff with Tony too. I know Tony just posted a video pretty recently for some stuff that's coming out. But yeah, this is available now. You could use discount code Sith15 for 15% off. Is it 15% or $15? It's
15% off.
15% off.
Yeah.
$15 would be crazy. But go get it if you want it. I don't imagine you will, but yeah, that is available now. So crazy stuff. Really good quality shirts too.
It really is. I just dropped the link down in the chat. So if you guys do grab it, use that code. It'll save you money. The best thing, and it's so overlooked, is free shipping, man. This guy offers free shipping, which is beautiful. I hate paying for shipping with a passion, bro. I hate it. Like a lot of times I won't even buy it if I have to do that. But I did just drop a video earlier. So tomorrow he's dropping this Savage.
Let's go.
T-shirt.
Yo,
that's
so
sick.
Savage Press. And then we gotta keep the family together. His brother, Darth Maul.
Wow.
So
sick.
it's 1 p.m. Eastern is when they drop on the site tomorrow. So you might as well get a bundle. Get Savage, get Maul, get Thrawny. So
you know, the trio right there.
Right now.
Three very important characters in the Star Wars universe.
Ronnie just feels like this cursed Legends character I like you find on Wikipedia.
It's like absurd.
So I just made a new goal right now. I'm gonna wear that shirt and have Timothy Zahn sign it and get his reaction, just to see his reaction. And when he's like, "What is that from?" I'll show him the video.
No, don't.
Oh my god!
Timothy
What if he
Zahn.
likes it, bro?
No, just
I doubt he will. I
what-
cannot imagine that's what he would find funny about his most notable character.
when you talk to him, he's like, "What's that?" And it's like, "Well, actually, it's my favorite part about the Thrawn canon. It's his brother that they were separated at birth." I remember when you wrote that, and he just like takes a second to pause. Like, I don't know. If I did that.
From the only place in the Star Wars galaxy that is not far or a long time ago is New Jersey. So
Exactly.
Absurd.
Man. Let's see who we got in the chat. So Major Jedi was in here 10 hours ago. Let's go. What up, Major Jedi?
what's up, dude?
T-Man always in the building. What up, T-Man? Eric, what up, Eric? Hello there. Welcome to the stream. Dez, what's good, bro?
What's up, Dez?
We're going international this stream as always. Dave, what's up? See, Dave, are you gonna grab one of those Thrawny? Man, I kind of want to be one of the first ones to get it. I need to get this order in.
You get the honor.
Hey, you should use.
Man.
Don't buy it.
I'm gonna buy it. Don't buy it. Are you kidding me?
You're not to.
That shirt is beautiful, bro.
Fake buy it for people so they're like, oh,
Bro,
you bought it. Maybe I should buy it.
I'm gonna wear it to Star Wars Celebration Japan, bro. They're gonna go nuts over there.
I'm gonna go buy every single one that they have, and then I'm gonna go take them to. I'm gonna take one to a different Goodwill in like every county, and then it's gonna just spread.
Oh my god!
Oh, in like 40 years, a homeless man, I'm gonna walk by, be like, what? What? That's a name I've not heard in a long time.
I'm just gonna steal into an ancient excavation site and bury one of them there.
Oh god!
The long lost
This
relic.
is the heart of Tutankhamun and Thrawny. What is it?
Oh, well, you know, Tut was this big fan of. He said something called it was his OC named Thrawny.
Zenshi said that night was pretty epic. Not talking about Ahsoka either. Oh, the night you did Thrawny.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
man. See, it's legendary, man.
I don't know about that.
Fandalorian, what's up? What's up? Yes, yes. So we're all caught up with the chat. So one thing I want to get your guys' thoughts on. Did you guys see that concept art that Star Wars posted the other day from the Ahsoka show?
They had to.
I saw the one with like the Mortis god statues, right?
Oh,
yes. So this this shot is such a dope shot.
So good,
man.
I think. Okay, this is kind of an off-topic tangent, but when the episode wrapped, I think we Tony, we talked about this on your last episode, and I remember like some people messaged me and they were like, yeah, like we still don't know what Baylon is up to. And I was like, were the giant Mortis god statues like not enough for you to like get you hyped? And they were like,
yeah.
They were like, wait, what statues? And they were like, there was no way I could tell that. And I was like, I can't help you. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the beard. Like that's the first thing I saw. What the one angle you saw the beard and then his face. And then when it panned out, you saw it was 3 of them. Like right away, I was like, oh my god, like freaking out.
Yeah.
Well,
dude.
I think like the best part about that was that it's so recognizable in the way that, especially in the actual scene,
Mhm.
the statues are carved in the way that looks like the Clone Wars animation style,
Yep.
which
Yep.
almost kind of solidifies the style into canon in a way.
Yeah, it kind of makes it like its own art style, like
Yeah.
in universe.
The sun over there, drippy with the trench coat.
Well, that's like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
got to be what the second time that we've seen some form of another show that's canon's art style brought in, because
Yeah.
the
Rebels
mural, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
used
true.
as well.
That's true.
All in the same
100%.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that shot was dope. This one looks sick too. It's just man.
I want these in an art gallery, dude.
Yep.
So I literally was thinking about like trying to maybe sending these to Walgreens and just having them printed out and just see how they look. It's like it's such a dope shot. Like
Yeah.
this one, this scene. I remember when this scene first happened, I was like, oh my god, are those Night Sisters? Like the lore from this part was just so sick, man. And then the Purgles, I love me those whales, man. I love the Purgles.
It's crazy, like how just important those whales. Like they were literally. I'm not like they were in a what someone would say like a filler episode in Rebels, right? And then people are like,
Yeah, it was
oh,
like
okay,
2
these.
episodes.
Yeah, there's like, oh, it's these whales or whatever, and now they're like so important. Like all
Yeah.
these years
Yep.
later. So I remember, I think I was like on vacation when those episodes came out, and I was like, huh, that was interesting. And now I'm like, okay, like these are like huge in the Star Wars canon now. I love it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something about these pieces of concept art that really just it just makes it feel so ethereal, you know?
Mhm.
It all feels like very, very dreamlike. This is a
Yep.
place of dreams and madness.
Did they say who did this concept art? Because normally, like, it usually is like with bigger projects,
It says
like
Wallen here on the bottom corner.
okay,
I don't know who that is or if that means something.
yeah, huh? Interesting.
I know Brian, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Matyas, I think is his last name's Matthias. He's the one who does a lot of the concept art for the character designs. He does some scene design as well, but like a lot of the early Mando concept art he did, and it's awesome.
I
So
love it.
I'm really hoping they do an art of Ahsoka book like they do for a lot of the other shows, because that's an immediate purchase for me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
For
It's
sure.
incredible stuff.
This shot here, the ghost is clean.
it looks so good. You can clearly see how much, at least in this concept art, how much Corellia has been cleaned up since
Yeah.
the Empire's reign.
yeah.
I'm a big
Yeah.
Corellia fan.
Yeah, for sure. There's another shot. Yeah, look how it looks like freaking Orlando, Florida, right there. Like right next to the airport. That looks like Orlando International Airport right there.
Dude, the more
That
I
really
see-
does. Wow.
Oh my gosh. The more I see the T6, the more it goes up in like my ranking of Star Wars vehicles, dude. It's so clean and crisp. It's such a good design for a ship.
So cool, dude.
It
Yeah,
looks like it
it's-
would just go wicked fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's growing on me a lot more for sure.
I wanted the Lego one,
Oh.
but people were like mad because, and I mean, it kind of looks bad because like one side of it just doesn't have any other pieces on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a display piece. Like when
Yeah.
you flip it, it can only ever go like look at it from one direction. You
Yeah.
can't always have it up and the other side be
Lame.
done.
Dude.
Yep.
Lothal
And then
looks
Lothal, yeah, it was so exciting to see Lothal in live action, man. The little bit that we got was dope.
crazy. Yeah, man.
Super dope. But I love all this concept art. I cannot wait for like the behind the scenes of Ahsoka, man, just to see everything with Thrawn, with Ezra. Man, it'll be sick, man.
Yeah.
When they drop those behind the scenes videos and stuff, like especially I think when they did Mando season 2, I guess it would have been. When they
Mhm.
released that one, like I just want to know, like, did George swing by? Did he pop by? Surely he had to, because he
Yeah.
did for Mando season 2 and met Rosario, and like I mean he pops. There's that famous picture of him holding Grogu, and it's like incredibly
Mhm.
blurry.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm like I'm a sucker for like when, because I think people forget that like George doesn't just hate Star Wars, because he sold it or whatever. Like he's still like it. I think he still kind of puts in a little creative input in there. Obviously, not nearly as much as what he used to, but
yeah,
man, that'll make me emotional.
I kind of like to equate it to like he's now basically like the Grand Master of the Order, because you know how like in some like Legends material, Yoda became the Grand Master, and even though like his advice, like his sage advice, was sought after, it was Mace as the master of the temple that was making the decisions. So George has kind of made a step up. He's no longer in control, but they come to him to talk to him about like some. I mean, he shows up and gives some counsel.
Yeah. Plus, dude, if I see George and Hayden reunited, like in the, I mean, that's a wrap right there. Like I'm gonna be crying.
That would be such a beautiful sight to see, man. Oh man,
because George really was like was Hayden's like biggest defender. Like he just and for good reason.
No, for sure. Eric said the sister still had no head, even in concept. Yeah, man. I hope that, man, I just hope that gets explored and explained later. Cause like, I love the Ahsoka show, but honestly, one of my favorite parts is just Peridia, bro. I'm so interested, like what's going on there, what happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future. Peridia is just so damn intriguing, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's funny that this year, in like kind of two very big projects, I'd say the biggest Star Wars projects this year, we got Peridia, and then we also I completely blanked.
Jedi Survivor.
What is the
Tanalorr,
which are two very like really intriguing, mysterious planets. Obviously Tanalorr is still in the main galaxy, but like it was virtually inaccessible. But Peridia like is just so cool. I need more. Give me more.
Yeah, man. So much more.
I think it's strange too how they keep like obviously expand the galaxy, do different things, but how they separate. Like the galaxy is already big as it is with the outer rim and the unknown regions and stuff like that, as it's called in Legends in the EU. But like to make a completely separate galaxy that is in theory just as big as the main Star Wars galaxy, and then also like a separate planet that just happens to be incredibly force sensitive, that has incredible ties to the past.
Yeah,
it's strange that they keep separating it in most of the, I would say, most popular Star Wars media at the time, how much they separate it from the main galaxy. And I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, we would see some mention of Tanalorr, even if it's like a small Aurebesh like listing of it in the Acolyte show.
Yeah.
That
would be a really nice connection. Or
if they mentioned Dagan Gera's like betrayal of the Order or something,
that time
crazy.
That would be sick, actually.
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit after, right? Because it's 200 years before Phantom Menace, right?
I think it's 100.
I think it's the end of the High Republic.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So all of that would have already have taken place.
I think the only, at least from what we know, and granted, I'm not very well versed in the High Republic stuff. I want to be, trust me, because I think it's super cool. But I think the only Jedi that we know that's like from the books and comics, because it's easier to do it, is the Wookiee Jedi Buriaga. I think he's going to be in it, and that's also because Wookiees can live forever. So I think it makes sense because I think he's like pretty young at the time of like Prime High Republic. So I don't know if we'll see like. I think the main ones are like Stellan Gios and like there's a couple of other ones, but man.
Oh yeah, he's the guy who dies on the whatchamacallit, the giant satellite spaceship base that they have, isn't it? Because okay, so this is, and I brought this up last week to Tony. So you know that show Tales of the or not Tales of the Jedi, but like Young Jedi Adventures?
I heard about this.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a character that was introduced as like an older master in that animated series who I guess is like fated to die in one of the High Republic books, and not and not just like die, But from what I read, like she's a Twi'lek. She gets one of her head tails cut off and then choked by it by the torturer, and she's on whatever that spaceship is that explodes. So what a bunch of people did is like they were all like, "Oh, great! I can't wait for my children to watch this and be like, oh my gosh, what's the lore behind Master blah 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 blah?" And then get to the end of her story and she's tortured and then blown up on that on that giant tragedy of a space station.
Oh my!
So for every
God.
Star Wars fan, like everyone has a favorite character. So someone's gonna grow up watching that story and they're like, oh man, that's my absolute favorite.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna, read into the books and then they're just gonna find out. Because I didn't know about this, and I looked. I was on Twitter, and there was these memes about what was going on in the show, and it was that Mr. Incredible meme of like people who don't know and then people who know.
What
and I was
people
like,
did
what is this?
Is I guess it was either Lucasfilm Animation or like Star Wars Animation. The Instagram posted in a slideshow of like what's coming up in the next episodes or something like that, and they just posted an image of the giant base like outside of a planet. And it's like the kids in the cockpit, like, oh, that's where we're going. And a bunch of people took it and ripped it, and it's in flames, and like there's pieces flying off of it, and they're just watching it burn in front of. It's super dark, but like obviously people are gonna be like, well, we all know what happens to that thing. It's like a show completely about Alderaan. And like,
oh my God.
Like, I love the last week. The best time for it to be on Alderaan is this time of month, and it's like just happens to be when it gets blown up.
That would literally be like if there was a scene in Kenobi where, like you just kind of zoom out and you see Bale just kind of sitting in his room. He's like, I love Alderaan so much.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Dude, okay, I'm like, I mean, not that those aren't serious things, but the chapter of Bale and Brea Organa on Alderaan in From a Certain Point of View as it blows up is so sad.
I need to read that.
Dude, I read this and I was like, bro,
Yeah,
but it was so bittersweet because he knew like Leia was out there like doing something about it, and he was like in his final moments he had this like again like the kind of the hope thing, and I was like, dude, those books are so good, man. I got the Return of the Jedi one and I cannot wait to read it, but man, that is so funny.
The Return of the Jedi one's interesting. There's some stuff that's really cool, and there's some stuff that I'm like, skippable.
Have you read all of them?
Yeah, I have all three. So I actually recently just got the hardcover of the Return of the Jedi one.
Same.
I got that, and then I got a couple other things. But I got that, and I had read a few of these stories already, but the other night I just went through them, and there are some that like I got 3 pages into, and I'm like, I don't need to know what happens at the end of this.
Honestly, I did. Yeah, so I have the hardcover of all three. My little Star Wars shrine is like up there, and so it's all hidden. I've got Sam Witwer's autograph up there and stuff. But anyway,
nice.
I love that guy, man. I love Sam Witwer. Anyway,
he is amazing, man.
He's on the top of my list of like people who I would want to meet from Star Wars.
He's just such a cool guy. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I've got my books up there, and I loved the first book. The second one, I also had trouble getting through. There's a lot of really slow chapters. There are, in at least in Empire Strikes Back, a ton of chapters about Imperial officers, and
gosh,
and they're so boring, dude. Like the only one that was interesting was like the girl was the daughter of the creator of like the probe droids, and
that's the one that comes to mind for me. Is that one's actually very interesting.
Yeah, but the rest of them, like there was one about God, who is the guy he plays Hitler in The Last Crusade? The guy with the mustache that gets choked out very early on in Empire Strikes Back.
I really liked the chapter about Ozzel. It's Ozzel. I actually really liked the chapter about it.
It is really sad, but I was just like, get this out of my face.
It was I don't remember exactly how it's worded, but like at the end of the chapter, it's basically like, and that was the end of like Captain Ozzel, Admiral Ozzel, or something
Kendall
like that.
Ozzel, I think.
I just really, I don't know why I liked that one so much. It just kind of went into his life and how he, like that whole Imperial bureaucracy of like skullduggery and backstabbing, and then all of that just amounted to getting choked out by Darth Vader and leaving and being left for dead on the cold floor. You know, it was just, I don't know. I thought it was a very interesting commentary about just kind of the Imperial hierarchies.
Like, I don't need to understand the mentality the Wampa was in on.
Okay,
like,
all right.
So I'm like, okay, is it interesting? Sure, but
dude,
that's a fine like subsection of an animated series. I don't need to read a passage in a book about it.
But Sam Witwer does the chapter of that in the audiobook, and it is absolutely
Does
incredible.
he really? I've never listened to that.
The audio, okay, listen, the Star Wars audiobooks are like an entire
fantastic
level. Yeah, I'm listening. Tony and I'm listening to this one right now.
Nice. Sam Witwer.
So good.
Phenomenal. But Sam Witwer also does, so he does the Wampa chapter, and then the other chapter that is probably the best chapter in the whole book is the Palpatine chapter. And he sees a vision of Vader recruiting Luke to turn against him, right? They're like in the Senate office, and and it's incredible. Sam Witwer does the voice for that one too.
No way.
And I was like, this is peak. This is so good.
I need that. I'm adding that to my my Audible right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you got Audible, use a credit on there because it is insane. I need him to do more audiobooks, bro. They're so good.
Damn.
No, for sure. Sabersmith says, bring on the Baylinicals of Peridia. Man.
I read that out of the corner of my eye, Sabersmith, and I thought you said the Bionicles of
I
Peridia.
was about to
I
say
thought
the same thing.
And I was like,
man.
we're gonna get some Bionicles in here.
Dude,
Lloyd,
you remember like the old Bionicle commercials? They kind of looked like Peridia at times.
No, they really did.
What up, Jake? How you doing? We're good, Jake.
I love your profile picture, Jake. Beautiful.
What's up, Jake? Hashtag Gaints, baby.
So this is an interesting one. What up, Victor? He said, should they mix medias through the season? Maybe an animated second season of Ahsoka would avoid Baylon's recast. What do you guys think?
Okay, that's so funny. I saw this comment and I wanted to talk about it so badly. So Victor Lee, good stuff. I was talking to some friends, and obviously, like, I think we're all in agreement. Like, Ray Stevenson as Baylon, what an absolute standout on the show.
Amazing.
Phenomenal. It makes me, and Ray Stevenson's presence in Star Wars was before live action because he did Gar Saxon, also phenomenal in that role.
Yeah.
But I thought about that too. I'm like, man, like, obviously season 2 is still up in the air. I do think it'll happen, but it's like, it would be interesting, but I like for them to like, I would not mind if they did animated to keep that going. I think it'd be easier to translate that. Will, was it you that posted that art of someone who made him in the Clone Wars animation style?
Yes,
younger.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. If I can just shout her out real quick, Nicole, it's at Nicole Sketch Art on Instagram. She did Baylon. She did Force Ghost Anakin from the last episode of Ahsoka.
I saw that one.
She just posted on her story today that she's doing a Clone Wars animation style of Shin. I DM'd her literally right before this, and I was like, can you please start selling prints? Because I want this art so bad. It's awesome. She does great. I think she also does tattoos. But she does amazing stuff. Sorry to cut you off, but like I needed to shout. She kills it. Look at the Force Ghost.
Look at that old Rex. That's great.
That is crazy.
Tony and I are talking about it, and like, I love that. That is so good.
The all white Ahsoka too is incredible. That's the best. That is like beautiful. I would love that as a print. I would get that as a poster right now.
That is so endearing,
dude. Look at the Thrawn down there. That looks really good.
Oh,
let's go, dude.
Oh, man, I'm a fan of that one. Yeah, I love this is a total. We were talking about
click on her story too. If you go, or maybe she took it down. Look at
dude. That is sick. They need to hire her.
Here's the thing, dude. just do like in season 2 of Tales of the Jedi, have it be 3 episodes of Baylon and have Shin appear in one of them. Or like 1 or 2. Like that would be great.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or let's be a little greedy. Let's do 3 episodes of Baylon and 3 episodes of Shin. Let's go.
Even better.
I wouldn't even be mad, honestly. Yeah, no. But anyway, back to the animated season 2 is I would not mind, but I think they would run the risk of it confusing general audiences.
Yeah, I agree.
Like for example, I don't know why people think this, but for an example, Cole and I have a friend, and his dad is is so against animation, absolutely hates it, thinks it's for children.
Oh yeah,
he has not seen Clone Wars, not seen
boring.
Rebels or
He's one of
whatever.
those guys.
Right. But he he watched Ahsoka and he absolutely loved it. If Ahsoka season 2 was animated, he would just not watch it, which I mean, I think is just a silly mentality.
That's
but
so boring, dude.
Yeah. I personally like love. I told Tony this the other day. Like, I love the just how far they've come with the Clone Wars animation. Like, it is like, you compare it to the movie and like the first couple episodes of Clone Wars to now with the lighting effects and the shading and just it is like it honestly kind of feels like a different show, but in the best way possible. Like, it's so good. So
it's so iconic too. Like, when you see it, you're like, that's only that style of animation. And who's actually doing it really well is, have you seen the fan trailer for TuckTales? Have you guys seen that?
Oh,
dude, Tony, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Theory was watching it on a stream, and I saw some of it.
So I was following the guy a long time ago because he had posted concept art that came up on my featured page. It's so it's incredible that he can do this just by himself. We can watch the trailer.
What is this
right now?
It's just, this is insane. I am incredibly excited for this.
All right. I hope you guys are ready.
We did see this.
I have seen this. That's right.
It monster deals at Michael's.
Oh God, what happened?
Whoa. No.
Dude, the feather.
It's so
Be
good.
careful. There can still be clones around every corner. Huh?
Why the long face?
The voices, everything. Incredible.
Keep up, Roy. Yes, sir.
This
Perfect.
That is insane.
So that's
looks
like a
real.
regular dude. That's like a regular dude that did that.
Yeah, he's he's
Bro,
a
that's
CG
insane.
artist. And he's been I forget, that got posted a while ago, 6 months ago. Yeah. But he was working on it beforehand, like getting ready to post the trailer. I don't know where he is in his process because he does a lot of work outside of this, and this is just like a passion project of his. But it's gotten to the point where people want this so bad that there's a couple other cosplayers that I follow on Instagram, and they've cosplayed like full suits of this guy.
Oh,
the fact that
damn.
people you can be so good, not only at the animation style, but to understand the essence of Clone Wars, where like a perfect joke like that lands and it doesn't feel forced or cheesy of him just dropping the cannon on the B1's head. Like, that's the essence of Clone Wars and the humor of Star Wars that is like, I think, essential to a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
To be able to nail that, you're a phenomenal person. You're a genius in my book.
Yeah.
Watching that made me miss Clone Wars so much.
Yep.
Just like that period of time where, you would just wait, I think it was like every Friday, every Saturday or something like that.
Friday,
just waiting for the next Clone Wars episode to come out. Just like, man, I can't wait.
Yep.
Oh man, just watching that. I mean, if you were to show that to me for the first time and tell me that it was Clone Wars season 8, I would believe it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like something like Bad Batch. Like, that's exactly.
Yeah.
I would take an entire streaming service of just like B and C stories of other clones doing things in off-world battles in Clone Wars any day.
Dude, a Delta Squad based arc or show, I would go insane over. That would be so great.
Listen, man, they haven't set it up, but if Scorch is in Bad Batch,
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
You know how many of the sound design pieces of Bad Batch were originally from Republic Commandos? I was listening to a podcast with Sam Witwer, and I forget the guy's name. I can look it up. They were both talking about it, and he's done the sound design. He originally did the voice of Proxy in
David Collins.
That's his name. Exactly. So he's got like this incredible ear for Star Wars, like niche Star Wars sounds. And he used like At some points in the Bad Batch, you can't really hear it. He used like the load screen, like the beep, beep, that
That's
like
cool.
full that zooms in on certain blasters and stuff. Dude, he's a genius. But I was listening to that podcast the other day with him and Sam Witwer, and like there's so much stuff that he worked on in Republic Commandos that he was like, I'm just going to use this and see if they say anything. And they did. And I'm pretty sure that's why they used more like the design of the Republic Commando in Bad Batch Season 2, because he directly works on that with all the sound design.
Yeah. Yeah, he's almost always mentioned in the credits along with Matt Wood doing sound design stuff. Yeah.
I think he works directly under Matt Wood. Like Matt Wood's the head of it, and he's the guy who works directly under him.
There was that brief, like little sequence, I think in season 1 of Bad Batch, where you're basically looking through Hunter's visor.
Yep.
And it's the same HUD design as Republic Commando. And I was immediately like, yeah, let's go.
So in that podcast, he explains how he did that and like his thought process is going through that sound design and like going through the old files of trying to find those sounds that are just in a Star Wars archive. He's like, they're all there. People can use them if they want. One of my favorite things from that podcast is him and Sam Witwer do the voice of this these two stormtroopers bantering. I guess in A New Hope they say something about the T6.
Yes.
And they're like, and in the in I guess Force Awakens or something, they're complaining about the T7 not being as good as the T6. But in Rogue One, they're like, the T5 just came out, and I'm finally excited for the T6. They've been in like every recent Star Wars movie that they put it in for that audio of them. It's awesome.
I think I listened to that exact same episode because they they've got like their regulars that they use for stormtroopers. So you've got like Steve Blum and Sam Witwer and all of them. They're like there's like there's like 8 stormtroopers. They're all just repeated because they just sound so iconic, But yeah, I think it's the scene in Rogue One when Chirrut is like sneaking up behind them and they're like, oh yeah, I heard the T6s or the T5s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's so good.
And Sam Witwer does like a perfect just over the mouth. It hasn't been as good as the T7.
Oh man, Sandy Cheeks, what's up?
What's up, Sandy?
So is the sequel trilogy in a different galaxy, parallel galaxy? No, unfortunately, it's
probably not.
It's not.
I mean, it is in a different galaxy than Peridia, but it's not in a different timeline.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe Ahsoka being trapped over there explains why she's not in the sequels at all.
Yeah. I'm still a firm believer, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but I'm of the belief that they've still got another 20 years until that time. Cole and I said this, and what led us to the whole Abeloth thing is that I am still putting money that she will eventually become the new daughter. I think it's just gonna happen. Like if she's literally got the daughter's life essence in her, and Dave Filoni, listen, Ahsoka, I love Ahsoka, don't get me wrong, but Ahsoka is Dave Filoni's basically fan fiction, but she's a great character. She gets so much development. That's what he loves her so much. And I'm like, okay, if you're not going to kill her off, but she's not in the Rise of Skywalker, make her a Mortis god.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, the pieces are there, right? So she has the daughter's life essence within her. Morai follows her and appears at specific points in her life, but then also the daughter's statue is destroyed, indicating that there is a spiritual vacuum that needs to be fulfilled. I think that's kind of the symbolism of that. So we'll see.
Yeah, Darth Zendicus Edits says, all signs point to Abeloth. I'm 100% convinced that's what's being teased in the future, especially the statues of the Mortis gods got me pretty convinced. Yeah. So with Abeloth, she's in, it's the Fate of the Jedi book.
Yeah. A trilogy of books or something.
No, there's 9 of them. Is she which books is she in? Is she sprinkled throughout all 9 and you have to read all 9 to get the full story? Or is she in one book or 3
think
books?
It's the latter half.
Yeah.
I think she's introduced as the final big bad. Because Luke has to work together with Darth Krayt in order to basically recapture her.
I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so she is in Fate of the Jedi Outcast, which is her first appearance, and then Fate of the Jedi Omen, Fate of the Jedi Abyss, first identified as Abeloth, Fate of the Jedi Backlash, Fate of the Jedi I think she's in every single one.
That's that was 5 books. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more. Oh, I didn't even finish. There's Abyss,
and
Backlash,
9.
Allies, Vortex, Conviction, Ascension, Apocalypse.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I got to read all 9 to get the full Abeloth story.
Just
Probably
go watch
good
the Star
audio
Wars
book.
Explained video.
Yeah, I might just listen to it. I wonder
well-
I wonder how many hours that is of the audiobook.
Probably a lot.
If
The
each
one thing is
5, maybe, probably, right? That's what they average out to be usually. Those
the
books?
audiobooks being
Yeah.
5 hours.
Yeah, aren't they sometimes really short? I've found a couple, like the EU books are sometimes super short.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This one, the mall one, granted, this was like, I think this one came out the year of the Phantom Menace. I think this one was 10 hours, but I don't speed mine
Yeah.
up, so I
Damn.
don't know.
Yeah.
I know the From a Certain Point of View one was 18 hours for Empire Strikes Back. That was that was a big boy.
That for me though, that's a like skip around kind of book
Yeah.
though, listening to. Can you
The-
please can you please pull up Polar Knights' comment, Tony?
Want to see this?
This is hilarious. He's on Twitch.
So shout out to Polar Knights. I love this show. As always, it is like the perfect evolution of beard growth. Thank you.
That's
Appreciate you
so
watching from
funny.
Twitch.
That's
Yo,
Yeah.
hilarious.
What
yeah,
up,
I was repping the first stage. I made sure to extensively shave before we started for sure.
It was planned. It was planned.
Yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely
It's like
planned.
the meme of like, it's like the 3 guys that like always host every podcast, and it's like all the Pixar characters. It's like the dad from Inside Out. Like it's
Ricky.
What up, Ricky? And what up, Noah? Welcome
Oh,
to
what's
the
up,
stream.
Noah? Look what finally
Noah.
came, dude.
What's up?
Look at this, dude.
Yes.
Finally.
Saber Smith.
Saber
Yes.
Smith, stories about Mayday before you met him in the Bad Batch. So I gotta say,
Love Mayday.
I fell in love with Mayday, and I was so upset that he died. And didn't they tease it where like we thought he died, but he was alive, but then he died or something like that? Like it was
Yeah.
an emotional episode. Mayday was awesome. Like
I don't think I cheered any louder watching a Star Wars scene than when Crosshair just murked that officer, dude.
Yep.
I was
like,
so happy. I was so happy. Yeah.
What an
That-
absolute
that
a-hole.
entire episode was just an absolute masterclass. I remember watching the like looking at the memes when season 2 was going on, and it was like it's a Bad Batch episode, and like someone was frowning, and then it says it's a Crosshair episode, and you're like, yes, let's go. But I mean, like the whole season was good, but like I distinctly remember that episode. Like you remember that scene when it's basically this montage of them walking back to the facility, and like Crosshair is so cold.
Yeah.
But
through
like
the
he's
snow.
like holding on to Mayday to kind of like them like support each other throughout throughout the cold night.
Yeah.
That's just heartbreaking. man.
I love like really, I mean, obviously I think we all love the clone stories, and that one just felt like such a tried and true tale of like brotherhood, you know, of them
Yeah.
being like, I mean, honestly, I'd say Crosshair and Mayday like are very opposite characters, but then they like through that survival experience, it really changed Crosshair's like just his perception on it. Of course, you know, they go after these bandits, and it's just new stormtrooper gear, right? And the clones have been treated like crap, and now they've been in the snow and the cold for who knows how long, days, and then they get back, and then they just let him die. Like, that was such a beautiful episode of Crosshair's character development, you know, because there are a lot of stories in Star Wars of like Imperials turning to the rebellion. I think it's obviously like it's sometimes maybe there's too many, but I'm not mad about it. But Crosshair, I was like, I don't know if he's going to turn to the rebellion, but like him at least turning on the Empire, I was like, they did that so well.
Yeah, I think that episode is a perfect example of like how Dave Filoni and Sam Witwer, and obviously George as well, have always been like, these are tall tales, and these are stories that like take place out. Everything doesn't always have to lead into the next episode, which I think we see often with like what's going on with the live action series. It's like the MCU effect where it's a cool episode, but you're just waiting to get to the end for the hype for what's going to happen next week, I think a lot of times. And that episode is a perfect example of like entering a story at the beginning and exiting the story at a perfect conclusion, and it just takes place in between what's going on, which I think is some of the best parts about Star Wars are told that way.
Yeah.
That episode comes to mind, and then the my favorite episode of live action Star Wars or live action Disney Plus Star Wars is the Mando season 2 Ahsoka episode, the Jedi. That it enters with Ahsoka and it exits with Ahsoka. It does set up a lot for what's going to come, and obviously we saw a lot of that come to play in the Ahsoka series. But like that was such a good enter, see a world, exit, and then the story moves on. Fantastic.
Cole and I were just talking about that this past week on Clone Wars. Does that a lot, obviously, with their arcs, right? Where it's like you're like in these kind of contained stories. But I think Mando, at least for me, with maybe at least more so with seasons 1 and 2, is like the goal of that show, in my eyes, is, you know, George was so heavily inspired by like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, like, you know, like, it's like the sci-fi TV serials, right? That was kind of what he was going for with Star Wars. That's why they're episodes, right? But with Mando, is like it feels kind of like that Old West like radio show, right? Where it's like, tune in next week for this different adventure. So like whether it's like we're fighting the orcs from Lord of the Rings in season 1 to like the jailbreak in the jailbreak episode from season 1 with which is one of my favorites because that feels so contained. I was like, that's a really cool episode. Season 2 has a little bit more of like telling a story. And then obviously season 3 is just a full on like, you know, an arc. But I like that Mando, once I kind of embraced the idea of it being kind of like, well, this episode, he's going to be on this adventure. And then like it being kind of an adventure of the week. Once that clicked in my mind and I accepted that, I was like, I like this. But then season 3, they kind of like went away from that a little bit.
Yeah. It was the MCU post-COVID effect.
And I love the hype. I love the hype moments. Don't get me wrong, but I like they need to be kind of, for me, like they got to be spaced out. You know,
when the hype moments are the backbone of what's going on, it falls flat 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Victor said the idea of Abeloth being introduced sounds great, but wouldn't they have to water her down significantly? She'd be too powerful. I don't see how they defeat her.
So here's Cole. You got this.
Yeah, so Grayson and I have talked about this a couple of times, like just kind of like Abeloth in general. And we've kind of come to the consensus that like if Abeloth is going to be in it, which, you know, I hope she is, she's going to be drastically different than what we understand her
100%.
I don't think that she is going to be this, you know, nuke waiting to destroy the entire galaxy. But if she is, it's going to be presented in a much more, I think, digestible way. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I literally just read this today. In Legends, Luke Skywalker isn't even convinced they defeated her because they had to defeat basically like Voldemort. They had to like take out the Horcruxes. They had to take out like eliminate different hosts of her essentially to weaken her. And then he keeps the dagger, the dagger from Mortis, because he's so afraid. He's like, I don't think she's gone, you know. And so it's like when people were, I read, there was a comment today that I read, they were like, you know, like, well, Luke Skywalker isn't powerful enough in canon to defeat her. I was like, but like even in Legends, he didn't really, like he had to team up with literally like the one Sith and Cray and everyone just to even get her to a weak state. And we don't even know if she was confirmed dead. Of course, that those books came out literally at the very end of kind of the EU and whatnot. So like I think they could adapt it very easily and with proper changes, they could still make it work.
Yeah, I mean, like I think honestly, a common theme about Star Wars is defeating these, you know, immeasurably powerful opponents with unconventional means. And so like when someone says like, oh well, Luke's not powerful enough to do it, well, like, yeah, you know, he probably wasn't powerful enough to face down Palpatine in single combat either, but it was through, you know, unconventional means that he was able to do it. It was through unconventional means that Ezra defeated Thrawn, you know. And so if they did present it in that way, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I just want to see this cool canon spin on Abeloth in a way that is just more digestible.
What if it's like this? So have you heard the theory that Shin is going to be the host of Abeloth? What do you think about that?
I've thought that, because somebody put like a side profile of her face versus like the 1 or 2 images of her with like the big smile side profile. Yeah.
See, I did not know that people were talking about this, but there was one point in time when like my tinfoil hat was on and I was thinking about Abeloth, and I was like, Shin kind of looks like if Abeloth was just, a human, like just a regular person. And I was like, nah, nothing, never mind. But like the more that I think about it,
there's Abeloth.
What if, Oh, hey, Abeloth.
Yo, Abeloth, right behind you. Turn around.
Dude, Tony, turn around.
Jump scare, back rooms. Dude, what you were saying about the power levels of characters, I think, and not to put down, I don't remember who put that comment in of like, wouldn't Luke be too powerful? One thing I will always fall back on, this is a fictional world with fictional rules where as long as it's written well and it makes kind of sense for what's going on, they can be as strong or as weak as however they are written in that time.
100% right.
Honestly, like, and we were talking about it beforehand with like Galen Merrick in the video games. It's like, well, wouldn't he be overpowered? The whole point of the gameplay is for him to be overpowered. Luke Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi of that time, but like, because you read it in a book, and this goes back to the Sam Witwer, Dave Filoni thing of like, it's good if the stories are different, because that's how the Force worked at that campfire, to use his analogy, doesn't mean that that's the same how the Force works at this analogy or this campfire, which a lot of people don't like. They're like, everything needs to be consistent. It's not that's not how it was. And I think that kind of falls into the third time saying it, that MCU effect of like, whoa. This was set up 5 years ago, and that's not the same color as it was here. Yeah, it's fun for those things to be like consistent there, but the small inconsistencies prove that you want to go seek out the thing. So it's just, I think it's kind of that fluidity. Luke Skywalker beating Abeloth, cool. Will it happen? We don't know what's going to happen with Luke. Is he going to be CGI? Is he going to be recast? Is he even going to be in it? Is it going to be Ahsoka taking over that story? Are they even going to do it with everything with Heir to the Empire? This is all just theories at this point, but to say that he's too powerful at this point, I think is like, that's limiting a fictional character that we know nothing about during this time period, other than books that are not technically canon at this point. Are they cool? Yeah, but they don't necessarily prove guidelines for things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well said. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Eli the Jedi says, "What's up, guys? New to the channel. I'm strong with the Force since I was young. My Force tinglers are saying that there's going to be plenty of Luke in future projects. Great show, by the way. Thank you, Eli the Jedi. And I hope your Force tinglers are telling us the truth." It's like Peter Tingle.
Is that to say the Peter Tingle? Is that what that is?
The Peter Tingle.
Can I make a petition to change the name from midichlorians to Force tinglers?
His Force tingler count is very high.
Yeah.
Even Master Yoda's isn't that high.
You just, every Star Wars character, you pull up the back of their shirt and there's just like weird little whiskers on the back that are like, and they all shake at the end.
I hate that.
It's like anytime someone feels something in the Force, it's just a bunch of little dudes going like,
whoa, there's Force here. There's Force here.
Oh, there's Force.
Oh my God. That is freaking hilarious. And Will, by the way, there was just a purchase made.
Look at that. Look at that.
I think it was so funny that for a brief second, all we saw was the shirt on the display. It was just this void of white and then the shirt.
Yes.
It calls to us, Thorani.
Super weird. These are probably going to be on sale for like 2 weeks. So get them while you can, and then they're never going to be sold again.
Check out our new Legends character, Thrawny.
Yeah.
Ricky,
Thrawny is too powerful to be brought into this universe.
Dude, if Thrawny was in this, he would deck Abeloth immediately, suplex style.
Star Killer, Crate, Revan, they got nothing on Thrawny. He's giving them the old 1-2 and they're out.
The Escalade that Thrawny drives doesn't even make sense in canon.
Thrawny invented the rule of one, bro.
What up, Austin? Hey guys, Figs, excited for the debate with you on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
What are you guys debating on Saturday? It's on Will's channel, Padawan Pops, right? The other Will?
Yeah, I was forced to be the guy who doesn't like The Force Awakens.
But don't you like it a little bit?
Look, I've I've gotten to the place where I just don't care about those films. To be completely honest. Like, not to say that they're bad, not to say that I think they are the worst things ever. You can be the biggest fan of them. I just don't care anymore about those
just
movies.
Moved on.
And until something is brought back that connects it, that makes it cool for me to watch those movies and see stuff, or if I ever hear like a story of like, oh, this was a cool behind the scenes, I'll watch the scene and be like, yeah, that is pretty cool, and like it for what it is. But the story that plays out over those 3 films, I have yet to be changed mentality wise to enjoy those films in the same way that I enjoy 99% of other Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah, so, I got to that point that you're at after Mando season 1. As soon as Mando season 1 finished, I was like, this is Star Wars. Like, this is new but feels old. And then I look back at the sequels and I'm like, what?
How crazy is it that Mando season 1 and Rise of Skywalker came out around the
same
exact
year,
same time, like within weeks?
It doesn't even feel like it. It doesn't even feel like it.
With the sequels. I always really, and this might be very lukewarm for people. Pun intended, maybe Luke, huh? But no.
I feel the force here.
I get it because it's that guy. What's his name? Luke Sky thing. I don't know. Sorry. George Lucas, right? Yeah, he's the guy that blew up the Death Ball. Yeah,
that's like the Kanye interview where he's just like, George Lucas is in, like he is Luke Skywalker.
Luke is he kissed his sister, and Joe Rogan's like, yeah.
Oh man,
but yeah, I try not to be like I really try.
Netflix gonna work on me. Only money.
Sorry, Watto cut you off there, dude. Sorry, Watto really had to get in there.
Watto can cut me off any time he pleases. All right.
Thank you, Ricky.
I was actually, that's so funny. I have to get it now. I was half tempted on Poshmark. I saw an old 1999 Watto mask from Ruby's, and I was really tempted to just click on the stream and just maybe wearing that.
Grayson, the next time we go to Celebration, can one of our cosplay days be you doing a Watto cosplay? 6'3" Watto cosplay, by the way.
What you got to do is like when people do like the Grievous costume and they're like really behind the person walking with them, it's got to be your face with a small body and then like a black sheet as the rest of you. So it just looks like you're floating around as the head and the little Watto. That's actually hilarious.
That would be perfect.
It's canon.
There's no one behind it. It's just a floating cloak.
Oh my god, it's Watto. It's canon for me now that when you guys record your podcast, because there's no visual audio, you are wearing a Watto mask the entire time, and until there's video audio, it's confirmed. So there's no way.
Let's go.
I told you to keep quiet about that. All right.
So the canon of Mortis FM actually is that I'm just sitting in a room talking to my co-host, which is Watto, actually. So it's just me. It's just like a regular guy talking to Watto.
Just immobile, sitting there with a microphone. And it's just a mask. Like regular dude with a Watto mask on. No facial expressions or anything. Just, yeah, so I think in the
So, Watto, what did you think about Ahsoka?
I thought that Luke was gonna be in it or something.
These are too powerful in canon books. It doesn't make any sense for the EU.
Why didn't they tell us what Baylon was doing?
I completely lost track of what I was talking about. That was so funny.
Retney, what up, bro? Welcome to the stream, dude. My guy Retney's holocron in the building.
He made this hat. If you go get that, let's plug that merch too.
Yes. I want that. Where can I get that?
Dude, his website. So
I'll bring it up right meow.
And the coolest part is, so after a little bit of a forced suggestion from myself, I was like, hey, why don't you do snapbacks? Because he does dad hats too, which
I got the dad hat version because I have a normal size head.
Yeah, I don't. I have if I was an X-Men, I would be the worst X-Men ever because my mutant power would just be having a giant cranium. That would literally, what's that guy do? Big head. He makes these hats, and he put them in snapbacks, but you can get them in like a bunch of different colorways, which is so cool. So you can pick a bunch, and they're all the same price for the color. He does awesome merch.
I don't know.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Oh,
bam.
Sick.
Yeah,
love
so I'm
it.
gonna drop the link in the chat. I got the hat and the hoodie.
Yep.
What's the hoodie got on it? I want to see it.
Oh, it's his logo. It's kind of fun right
with
here.
the holocron.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So sick, dude.
But
I'm a
I'm
big fan of
mad. Oh, I'm not that mad, Redney. But when I bought it, he only had black, and it was like that for a while. So I'm like, I guess it's just black. I ordered mine, and then the next day, there's all these fire colors, and I'm like, damn it! Like I would have got the green one, the red one's popping too.
Yep.
You got dark chocolates. Like, come on. But yeah. Link.
That's when I looked and I was like, oh, there's a green because I would have bought it as a black, but like I literally have 7 black hats right behind me.
Yeah,
and this for like a cool green color, I was like immediate buy. So sick.
Yeah. But yeah, I dropped the link in the chat. So yes,
Awesome.
sir.
Sick.
Oh, he said, my bad. I revamped the whole web store because Will asked for snapbacks. Oh, shit. That's hilarious.
I will always plug it now. Dude, I wear this hat literally every day. It's my new favorite hat.
It's great.
Yep. I got this version of it.
There's something about that. I think it's like ITC serif is the font, and they started like it was kind of like the new font that Disney started using with all of their their promotional material, like when The Force Awakens started. I love that font. Like, I don't know why. I'm like, it feels so Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Tony, someone Trip, Lord of Inconvenience, said Ahsoka sucked.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I mean, that sucks that's his opinion.
Yeah.
I'm happy with Ahsoka. But yeah, I seen that.
I just was
yeah.
I was just curious if people. I really would like one perfect world. I would love to.
That's exactly what I texted when I said, "Hey, stop being anti big head and make snapbacks, please."
Dude, I get. I have a Boba Fett hat behind me. It's just like a dad hat, and it like literally barely fits my head. Like I was like, bro,
dude,
what an L. I need these massive ones.
I got this one. Doesn't fit my head. So
I love that.
Oh, I'll take it.
That's great.
I'll mail it to you. You guys can rock paper scissors for it. I'll mail it to you. Yeah. Also, Instagram ads work because I buy all of them. Like anytime I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Stupid giant. It's okay, Noah.
Dude,
no
everybody in the chat's just going like, yeah, I've also got big head.
Oh damn.
My head is I can't even wear Black Series Mando without immense pain. Dude, that's how I feel about my Scout Trooper helmet. If I put it on while it's open, like with the face open, it does not fit around my head. I have to put it on closed and like screwdriver twisted in bottle cap onto my head to be able to open and close it.
Cole has the inverse issue because my Mando helmet fits perfectly because we both have Black Series, but he has the Boba Fett one, and it's like a freaking bobblehead, bro.
My Boba Fett helmet is massive. Anytime like I want to wear it for recreational purposes, I just put stuff. I have to put like padding in the helmet, just so that it can fit in.
Do you remember when we were at Disney? Cole, when we worked there, and we were, for context, we were in the Disney College program for a year.
Same, dude. Wait, when did you guys do it?
You did it?
Like last year.
Oh, you did it last year? I did it the year right before COVID. So I finished the fall winter program, and January 1st I moved out, and then that March COVID hit.
Where were you placed?
Dude, sorry to brag, better than both of y'all. I got to drive the friendship boats in Epcot between Epcot to Hollywood Studios.
Really?
The best gig. Dude.
How, bro? What?
I aced my interview over the phone.
Dude,
the woman loved me.
Now.
Oh yeah.
So when we started, they had just phased out the interview where they place you in stuff. they just throw you into stuff based on like, because like with your application, they're like, where are you best suited? And you just kind of go like, oh, well, here's my traits. And then they'll just tell you where you're at. There wasn't an interview.
Yeah. I have my boating license because the first day you get there and you're like, yeah, before you do any of this, you have to pass your boating test. So you do it for like 5 hours at whatever the Epcot main building is.
Yeah.
You do it there in casting. You take the test, and then afterwards, the full next week, you aren't even anywhere other than in an empty friendship boat in the middle of Epcot, just driving it around until you can park it, dock it, do all of the things you need, and then you start spieling and like talking to the people. Dude, most fun experience. That's actually when Rise of Skywalker, when Mando season 1 dropped, and I remember working at Epcot and parking a boat, and somebody walked up to me and they were like, dude, you have to watch the new episode, the first Mandalorian episode. And I was like, what? Why? And they were like, just watch until the end. And I watched it in the back, like on break, like this with my phone, and then seeing Grogu, dude, like working at Disney, seeing that Mando season 1, that's one of my best Star Wars memories, is doing that.
Man,
when we were there, so the story I was gonna say is there was one time, Cole, you went out to get a drink at the vending machine and you just wore your Boba Fett helmet, like just like you were just like walking and you're like it was like 3 a.m. You went to go get like a Coke or something, and you just like and you were just like waving at people casually. That visual I'll never forget.
If you don't mind me asking, because you guys don't live there anymore, which housing were you guys in?
Flamingo East. Flamingo is the new housing.
Oh, bougie.
It's real nice.
It was extremely nice, which we kind of needed, because Magic Kingdom, bro. Like I was at the Emporium. It was high stress. It was high stress all the time. I had 3 a.m. shifts.
That's the worst costume too. That's the worst costume.
It was so hot.
Yeah.
All the time.
Dude, I basically got to wear a fishing shirt and shorts all day and a big sun hat. Dude, I am so happy I got that. And what was cool is you got to go because the Epcot dock that's over by where the Ratatouille ride now is, you can take that all the way to Hollywood Studios. So I got to always pick people up from Hollywood Studios and like bring them back to Epcot and go in between the two parks. So it was like the best of both worlds. It was
driving
awesome.
a boat, dude. You were just having a good time. Meanwhile, I was in the biggest merch store in Magic Kingdom during firework hours right immediately afterwards, where despite all of the space, I had to shimmy between people to get from point A to point B.
Worst. I will say what sucked about working there was they had just opened the Skyliner while I was there, and it broke down 3 times within 72 hours of it being open, to the point where like people were off of it for hours at a time. And the only transportation that was left was the friendship boats. So we were there until probably 3 or 4 a.m. bringing people back to their hotels that the Skyliner was going to. That was the only part where it was like, yeah, this is a transportation gig and this is not fun. But it was fine.
Yeah.
Will briefly doing the Titanic simulator.
Yeah.
I will confirmed.
I worked there. I actually loved it. I loved working. Dude, I would go back. Like when I get to the point where I'm like old enough and I could retire if I'm still in Florida, I would love to be like the old guy just there handing out pins, dude. That would be perfect for me.
Dude, the pin trader posts,
the best.
Like, getting that was probably one of the best parts about working at Emporium, is when they specifically put you on pins.
Yeah,
because I got it's some on my jacket. I got this really nice Krennic pin.
Yeah,
that this guy had, because like he was just trading pins, and he was like we just started talking about stuff, and he was like, okay, what's one like IP that you like? And I was like, I'm obsessed with Star Wars. He just opened up his bag and he took out a Krennic pin that came out when Rogue One was coming out. And I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. I know Retney's answer.
So which do you prefer, episode 1 or episode 2? What's Retney's answer, Will?
He is an episode 2 stan. This guy
really
loves episode 2. And I do too. I just prefer episode 1.
We're talking about Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, right?
Exactly,
Not
yeah.
Okay, I thought we were talking about Ahsoka, and I was
No,
like,
no.
Okay, yeah, no. Phantom Menace sweeps.
My brain, whenever
you.
it sees Roman numerals beside the number, beside the word episode, I'm like, okay, yeah. So the Star Wars main
Star
movies.
Wars.
Yeah.
So
I was so confused because I was like, it came out of nowhere, so I was like, but yeah.
I love episode 2, but episode 1 is, I've told Grayson time and time again, episode 1 is my comfort movie.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
when I'm feeling sick, I will just put episode 1 on, and I immediately just feel better in at least some mental form of way.
To me, episode 1 just feels so. I mean, episode 2 does as well, but episode 1, I don't know, that just feels so Star Wars to me. Like, at least in my Star Wars experience, I just love it. So
Look at Ricky's comment, dude.
So before we get to that, so I love episode 2, but Retney, Duel of the Fates and Darth Maul.
Right.
That's it. Drop the mic. Like, what?
And the pod race, bro. Pod race scene.
Yeah. So Ricky said episode 2. Episode 2 is the best of the prequels. Well, that's Ricky's favorite movie. So he's like a Retney. He's like Retney. So Retney and Ricky, the 2 R's, they love episode 2, which is cool. But bro, Phantom Menace all day, bro.
Better than Revenge of the Sith?
That is crazy.
Definitely one of the hotter takes that I've heard.
Oh wait, I didn't even read that. I just stopped after best because I know it's his favorite. Out of the bro, Ricky. I know you're in Spain right now. Maybe the jet lag has got you a little flustered.
Still there? He's been there for a month.
I think so. Ricky, where are you? Are you in America, bro?
Jeez.
Michael Martin, what's up, bro?
What's
Welcome
up,
to
Mike?
The stream.
Yeah, episode 2, don't get me wrong. Episode 2 was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw in theaters when I was like literally like 2.
Yeah.
So but I remember like seeing the big arena battle and being like, yo, this is awesome. But then like
he's with Retney right now.
Yeah. They're both watching it just on a phone in a subway somewhere.
Episode 2, really just what detracts that movie for me is just the poor written like love romance stuff. If you were to just fix that, to me, episode 2 would be an amazing movie. Like
that's exactly what I said when Retney and I, because he and I did a tier list for ranking like all of Star Wars media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I said. I was like, I love everything about episode 2 except for, and I get it. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not my favorite thing. I understand having to show their relationship, and that obviously sets up him choosing like his selfishness in episode 3. But like,
favorite Star Wars
movie?
Yo, hey, hold up. I'm gonna rep for Michael here for a moment, and I'm just gonna say, no reason to be hated. That is entirely valid, man. Whatever, like I'm okay with whatever your favorite Star Wars movie is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And like repping episode 2, go off, King. Do it.
I just don't agree.
Yeah, that could not be farther from my favorite.
Episode 2 is not my personal favorite, but there are some parts in it that like,
bro,
especially when everyone goes to Camino.
Bro.
I love
seismic
Camino.
charges, bro.
Seismic charges.
Okay. No, the thing is, like the Obi-Wan stuff, absolutely love. It's so good. And Tony, we were just talking about this past week, but with Tales of the Jedi setting up, well, especially like with the Sifo Dyas stuff, and then wiping Camino from the map, I'm like, that makes episode 2 so much better because I love Dooku, guys.
Yep,
I love Count Dooku.
Yep, Dooku versus Yoda. Yep,
it's so good.
It's something about episode 1 and 2 that both kind of capture this essence of immense world building that I am absolutely obsessed with. Like, episode 3 doesn't do it as much because it's very focused on the task at hand. But episode 2 is all, I mean, like episode 1 and episode 2, it's all about just setting up a bunch of different things that are happening at one time. And I remember as a kid going like, taxation of trade routes. I love that. You know? Just because I just thought it was so neat.
Yeah. Honestly, I think when, like, for me personally, when I try and do like their ranking in my head, and I'm like, why do I enjoy episode 1 and episode 3 so much more than episode 2? And I love episode 2. I think, and this is probably just for me, the marketing and the time period for episode 1 and episode 3 were so much better than the lack of marketing they did for episode 2.
Yeah.
That I think just for the nostalgia hit for me remembering that and the time of enjoying those, I just enjoyed the time period of 1 and 3 so much more.
Those were iconic like legacies of marketing. Of course, episode 3 was the one that I remember the most out of.
Absolutely.
And episode, like, it was so many Vader helmets and the lava and Grievous. To be honest, Cole and I have always said this, that the episode 3 marketing is like really metal. Like,
yes,
I don't know,
dude.
and I love it. Like, there was like what were those statues, Cole, that were like they're like the die cast statues, and they're like almost just like Japanese, not Japanese. They're just like really over the top, edgy versions of these scenes.
It's not the Kai Art stuff, is it?
No,
I don't know when it's coming.
It's not the Bandai ones, is it?
No,
are they?
They're like these little like display pieces. I remember
so
seeing
many
them in my Walmart.
There were so many absolutely just radical looking figures that were coming out at the time. Like I remember this really big Grievous figure that had like a flowing cape and flames surrounding him. It's like those kinds of figures that would come out at the time. That it was such a meta.
Tony's about
marketing.
to go get it. There's no way he has it.
Oh, please tell me he has it.
Oh no, I don't have the flame one.
I'm trying to find. Also, the packaging for episode 3 action figures were.
I thought I had the flame one. The flame one's the Target exclusive. I have the exploding body one.
I have that one. I have that one out of the box.
I was so excited when I first got that figure.
Yep. Dude, the toys were so good for Revenge of the Sith. And what's interesting to me is like
what up, Sean?
What's up, Sean? What's going on, dude? Maybe for Force Awakens, but the rest of the sequels marketing to me was not as fun. Like the toys were not great. The posters, dude, I just saw it the other day. I completely forgot about it. And obviously I was a kid at the time, so it went over my head. There's a official licensed Anakin or Darth Vader poster that came out around the time of Revenge of the Sith that says "Call him Daddy" on it. That was like actually used.
I've seen that. I've been
looking for it. I'm like, that is such a funny piece of like Star Wars history. I love like weird little pieces of Star Wars stuff.
Doesn't it say like call me daddy, like coming May 2005 or something like that?
Yeah.
That kind of like marketing humor back in the day. There was like a certain light tone around it.
Oh yeah, it was like that. Rob Dyrdek was going on at the same time. The weird shows on MTV, like Cartoon Network, was big on like that weird humor. I think that was just like such peak, like Silent Library and those shows that were going on at the time. That was just the essence of those weird 5 to 08 years.
Yeah, but quick plug for later tonight. So since Sean's in the chat, so we're going to be actually on their show tonight on Sithcast podcast YouTube channel. So it's at 9:05 tonight. I'll drop the link in the chat, but me and Diamondfigs will be over there causing a ruckus. So go check it out.
Can't wait. Tony, did you ever get your 3/32 Funko?
No, I know it just started shipping because Eric said he got shipping confirmation. So I'm just gonna go buy Books A Million and see if they have it.
I just got the email that mine shipped, so that's why I was asking. Literally, just 2 minutes ago.
So Retney says, I've always enjoyed episode 2 more than episode 1. I hate Jar Jar. You mean this guy, Retney?
Have you guys seen Tony's theory about Jar Jar Binks?
He's a Sith Lord.
You mean the most powerful Sith Lord?
Look at it's all in the eyes, Chico. Like Scarface said, it's all in the eyes. Look at that right there.
You guys want to know? It's one of the. I hope this isn't political. I just think it's funny. But when I was in 16, it was the election was that year, and my friend and I, we played Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, and when we did the final level of Revenge of the Sith, where you like team up and fight or like you're like teaming up, but you're fighting each other, and we made custom characters. Yeah. So we made Darth Trump and Darth Jar Jar just because we thought it was funny, and like I think I was Darth Jar Jar, and they looked so good. If I can go back and find the old save, I'll take a screenshot for you guys. Oh my god, dude. That was so funny. Like that was the most tense match I've ever played in my life. I was
that is by far the best Star Wars game of all time, without question. No, Force Unleashed, Revenge of the Sith game, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga is the best Star Wars video game of all time. I'm sorry, it's the best.
I will
Well,
say
you're the Lego guy. You're a little biased.
Dude, I am a Lego guy because of that game.
I found him.
True.
I found the episode 3. They're called Star Wars Unleash. That's what they're
Oh
called.
yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
yeah.
There we go.
I knew I was like, it's something like really metal. Yeah, like Anakin looks. Oh my god.
Oh
Tony,
wait,
can you look
the
these up?
figures?
Yes, they're figures, dude. The General Grievous one is crazy. That was
Put
only
the
$20.
link to what you see in the private chat on here
I
on
will.
StreamYards.
I will. I'm gonna see if I can find episode 3 Unleashed toy line. Sorry. I'll
Yes, thank you, Michael. Star Wars: The Complete Saga got me into Star Wars, dude. Playing those video games like while the movies were coming out and then after. Oh my god.
This confirmed, bro. Let's go, Filoni. Make it happen. Darth Jar Jar is calling Baylon.
Oh my god.
Okay, seriously though, what if what if Ahsoka season 2 happens? Right? There's this massive build up to whatever's calling him, and then it actually is Jar Jar. How would you feel?
This
is
a
big plan for you, Baylon.
Well, wasn't like your theory is that like Jar Jar like
stole
got
Grogu
Grogu, yeah.
and sold him to those pirates in Mando season 1, episode 1.
Bro,
See,
he's a
he
clown on
does it-
Naboo.
He does it for chump change too. Like it's just for like a bus fare.
Okay, I'm trying to find the right terminology. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna find the best example of one. Oh my god, dude, the Yoda versus this is nuts. I'm really trying to find the right one. You guys keep talking without me. I'm in a rabbit hole.
I think I might have one of the figures you're actually talking about. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna send a link to one, just this eBay listing.
I'm very excited to see it.
This is just an Obi-Wan one right here. Bloop. See, and you can see it's there. This isn't even the one.
Oh my gosh, I so remember these, and they weren't posable. They were like
they're
static, non-mobile.
Yeah, they're like almost like diorama pieces.
Yep, dude, these
Yeah.
are actually so sick. I forgot
They're
about these.
no, they are.
So
as an adult,
are you
I think
talking
they're
about
legit.
these Unleashed?
That I think is the earlier versions of them. I
Dude,
think that was
What?
all is nuts.
that is yeah. I think that is them. They rebranded the packaging for episode 3. Yeah, that's got to be it.
My guy looks like a
The
demon.
Django one, dude. Oh.
That's insane. I'm looking at them on eBay right now, dude. This is bad that I know.
Yeah,
what
you
Yeah,
these
see
are.
Anakin like
sometimes
how
you can
like
find 'em-
anime it looks, bro.
Yeah. I picked this up at ICC Con. It was maybe like $30, $25 or something like that. But I'm gonna
Cool.
bring up the one you just sent.
I just found the Target exclusive Grievous. Oh my god,
That Kenobi's fire.
it's cool. Yeah, like if you go look, I'm
Unleashed.
trying to.
Yeah, that's just the newer version of it. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, there's an Asajj Ventress, bro. Oh, there's so
yeah.
many.
No,
I
there-
gotta.
there's like 30 of them. There's like I think there's Leia. There's everybody.
Yeah, they're
Padme,
like
there's a Padme one.
they're just like really over the top designs that they just like. They're like all look like they're in motion, and it's really cool. Anyway,
That's
there's
so sick.
my little rabbit hole of throwback Revenge of the Sith merch right there.
Dude, the Jango
Oh
Fett
my
one has like
God.
a small Boba Fett like hiding, like crouching under his leg.
Get him, Dad!
Like-
Get him! Fire!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, that Asajj.
it's just that like the font that they use is just so edgy, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to ICC Con, there was a ton of these. Next year, if there's a bunch, I'm just getting them all.
We've oh no,
'Cause, like,
we've
there-
sent
there were
Tony
t-
down
there
the
were, like-
rabbit hole.
But there were like 2 booths, and both of them had a ton. If I'm like, give me a deal, I need one of all of them. Like, they give really good deals there, which is scary.
yeah.
It's terrifying, but like, they're just. This is such a dope collection, and you rarely see this. Like, I rarely see this in comic book shops and at toy shows. So, like, if you see it somewhere, buy it because it's not like a common thing.
The I was looking to see if I could find the Obi-Wan and Anakin version, and they're both like engulfed and like they're like using the Force to like move fire, like firebenders from the
So
last
sick.
Airbender. It's like, does it happen? No, but it's cool.
Oh, wait. So there's a listing for both of those together for literally $10 right now shipping.
Buy it before I buy it.
The lightsaber is off on Anakin, and it's out of the
loose.
box. Yeah, it's loose.
Oh.
It's not in the box, which is honestly kind of a cool display piece, though.
No,
No, it is. I want to get another maul because I don't want to open this one, but I need one loose. So I'm gonna get another one eventually.
That's so sick.
All right, I'll answer this
Nick
question.
has a question for you guys. Yeah, who wins 1 versus 1? Prime Luke or Prime Ahsoka?
Yeah, I can answer this, and then I got to head out. I got to go to D&D, so because I'm a
nerd.
Yeah. But Cole, man, I don't even honestly. Who is writing the fight?
Yeah.
Is it Dave Filoni or is it George Lucas fight?
Who is writing the fight, and is this a movie or is it a show?
Yeah, I mean, just with how much Ahsoka has been through, I feel like it has to be Ahsoka. But like, the thing is like, are we considering Luke in his prime, like Mando season 2, like that?
I would.
Yeah, it depends on like that being in his prime or like what we saw, like what you see in the books. Prime.
Yeah, because if it's the books, Luke destroys Ahsoka. But like, if it's what we're seeing from the movies and everything, I'm gonna say Ahsoka.
I don't know, man. I mean, that hallway scene from season 2 where he faces off against all those dark troopers, that was kind of nuts. Just kind of like storms that ship all on his own.
But then Ahsoka jumping out of the LAAT in Clone Wars season 7 at the age of 17 and just wrecking house of all the Mandalorians and like
that's such a difficult question to be honest, because like you have to think about it, and someone like people always bring up, oh well, Luke beat Vader, you know. But Vader was so emotionally conflicted at that time. He ironically, he lacked conviction. And so like, I mean, that's not to downplay Luke's prowess in the moment, but like Vader was slipping the entire fight.
Oh yeah.
That's really hard to say.
I mean, it's kind of like it was literally Luke's destiny to confront Vader because nobody else could have done it. Not Obi-Wan, not Ahsoka. Only Luke could have brought Vader back. And then we were just to go back, I wanted to say this earlier, like in my opinion, there's no way Luke in any scenario was getting out of the throne room like beating Palpatine. Only I think it was literally like the chip on his shoulder was that Vader turned and was able to get the upper hand on Palpatine, because I just don't think Palpatine expected that to happen. It was either Luke was going to kill Vader and become or get killed by Palpatine, or, you know, he was turning Vader. Like, I love that moment so much, dude. Return of the Jedi is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, I saw that he said, or Darth Zendikis said Luke wins mid diff. Maybe that is really hard.
It's hard to say. Ahsoka has more experience in lightsaber combat, I would say. Because like Luke has had significant lightsaber battles, but a lot of his experience comes from just specifically like the Galactic Civil War. Whereas Ahsoka, you know, was in the fall of the Order and faced off against Maul and fought off countless Inquisitors and fought Vader once, and you know, like all she knows is how to fight, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to say though, because I mean, Luke is just, I mean, who knows how powerful Luke would be if those movies came out today, you know?
Yeah.
I think like we kind of look past this, you know, quote power level when we think about the practicality of the original trilogy, right? Like think like the Vader versus Obi-Wan fight in A New Hope, right? You don't see the fights looking like that anymore.
Michael, I just saw this comment. Ahsoka lost to Baylon. How strong actually is she in the Mando? That is a good point.
Yeah.
So, but Ahsoka's from the streets, though. Experience.
I mean, she did have a solid like year and a half where she was on the streets of Coruscant. So that's
the lower levels.
That is true.
Yeah, 13.
and like also in that scene of Rise of Skywalker, that is like one of the one scenes in that movie that I really like, when Leia is facing off against Luke in that little flashback. She gets she gets the jump on him, basically. Manages to trip him, and
dude.
I mean, they always said that Leia would have like Yoda and Obi-Wan wanted to train Leia.
Yep.
Luke.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh my gosh, Leia as a Jedi. I literally tweeted this today and put it on Instagram. Leia
Yep.
as a Jedi is like I love Luke, but that's like very high on the Star Wars want list. And may I just say, I had the most absurd comment under that. It said, Star Wars fans are never satisfied. Are we just supposed to never want any new Star Wars now that what we've gotten? This is me literally saying, you know what would be cool? You're not satisfied with what we've got? Sorry, I'll only ever watch what's come out, and I'll never ask for more new stories.
Oh my god!
No, like I really like the direction they took with. Okay, here's my pipe dream with Leia being a Jedi. Right? Obviously, it's not going to last, but she does have ample enough training from Luke to have been able to teach Rey post Luke's death, right? Because let's be honest, Luke basically taught Rey nothing. Like it was like literally like 2 days, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll teach you why the Jedi need to end, whatever." But
he
anyway,
taught her how to throw a lightsaber.
Yeah. With Leia, I told this to Tony, and this is kind of my theory, and I think could work as the why we see the way Luke is. Called me I'm coping. I don't know, but hear me out. My theory is that basically post Return of the Jedi, Luke is like to ask Leia, like, I want to train you as a Jedi. Obviously, she says yes. And currently in the timeline, she's being trained by Luke on the side, but is also still serving as kind of a senator, but her duties are being kind of distracted. Thrawn slips in, and now this major conflict in the galaxy, right, that they have to handle. And I don't know through what means or whatever, Leia decides, Luke, this isn't for me. I'm not meant to be a Jedi. That's you. Like, I need to be full force in the senator. So as a senator and as a general, so this doesn't happen again. That causes a rift between Luke and Leia, where Luke is like, kind of just is mad at Leia for being like, what, you're going to throw away your destiny to be a Jedi so you can just keep doing this stuff in the senator. Like maybe he thinks the right path is being a Jedi and knows her potential, but she's kind of going to like a higher duty, trying to, because that's what she's always been, right? A servant of the people. And that's just not her role to be a Jedi, as cool as it would be. So of course she's got those powers. And I think that is why it would set up when Luke starts to train Ben Solo, which as far as we know, he has not started to train. He kind of keeps Ben at arm's length because he's mad at Leia. He's like, I guess I'll train Ben. He's mad that Leia threw that away, and he was kind of thrust Ben upon him, and that causes his like kind of grumpy nature, like in that rift in their relationship. And it would be interesting to see if like maybe the last time that Luke and Leia, or like one of the last times that they have not reconciled through all that time, and that leads to Ben's turn to the dark side. I don't know.
So I don't know if I'm on board with the Luke's like anger in the sequels being because of Leia. However, I do think it's very interesting the way that you explain that is almost verbatim what happens between Leia and Luke in the Heir to the Empire novel.
Really?
Of Leia being like, I don't want to do this anymore. And at the beginning of that book, she's like, I've already stopped. I'm pregnant. I don't want this to hurt my child, who at the time she didn't know she was having twins, but then goes off with Han, and Luke and Han have to convince her as like a, what's the word? What's the drug show where the intervention?
The drug show.
I was trying to think of the TV show name for it, and I couldn't think of the actual what it was term was. They have like an intervention with her where they're like, it's the most safe for you to be trained as a Jedi to protect our child. And Han says that to her, like, look, I didn't believe in any of this mumbo jumbo stuff, but like it would be the most important for you to train as that. And then they start training again, which sets up The Last Command and those other books. But that's because everybody thinks Heir to the Empire is what's going to happen. That's very cool to think of that being the route in of Leia training again and then being like, you know what, actually I don't want to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it obviously would have to play in the flip side. And yeah, I misspoke when I said like Luke's anger. Like maybe it doesn't make him angry, but it just kind of starts to give him kind of more of like a that the grumpy
it's the possession of like, not only does my sister not want me to train her, but like, does that mean she doesn't think I'm good enough to train her? Does that mean that she doesn't want to spend time with me, her brother? Is it something I did? So it's him being in his head of all of those inner thoughts, which sets up the whole balance of Luke.
It's not a perfect setup, but to me, I think it'd be very interesting.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, and I want to see Leia be a Jedi for a little bit longer, because that is one of my favorite little teases. Is getting
man.
So it's like, again, say what you will about the sequels, but I always try to like look at the things in those movies that I really did like, and to kind of help me like, you know what, like those are some cool ideas. It didn't flow together perfectly, but at least we got some really cool ideas that like for example, the dyad in the Force with like Ben and Rey. I love that. I wish it was explained more. I wish it was set up more, but it's a really cool idea. Ben didn't die. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, man. What a waste.
That's a whole other podcast and stream right there. But
I would feel so much better about it if he didn't die.
Yep. I would be so much more excited to explore that. I would be after those. If Ben didn't die, I think where I am right now, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of those 3 films, I would be excited to continue learning about that time period because Ben was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if, and I've asked Grayson this before, what if they just ended up doing some kind of world between worlds thing where they end up saving his life, but it's done so
do whatever you do.
I'll take it.
It's done so in a way that prevents people from going like, oh, then why don't we save A, B, and C from dying or whatever.
Do that and have him interact with Anakin, his actual grandfather, in the world between worlds, because he's already there and everybody thought it was going to happen. It was originally written into the Rise of Skywalker script. Have him actually interact with because doesn't he disappear like a Force ghost in that setting?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just have Ben interact with Anakin in the world between worlds. Have him understand that the Vader side of Anakin wasn't the part that he should have longed for that entire time. It was just a coping mechanism because he was angry at his uncle. Just do it. Just do it right now.
Wait a second. I think they might not be doing this right, but if we're trying to connect Ahsoka with the sequel trilogy, everybody's been asking, okay, Ahsoka's the daughter, Baylon's the father, who's going to be the son? What if it's Kylo Ren? What if it's Ben?
Damn.
I don't know if I'd like that because Ben's redeemed at this point.
That's the thing is I like where you're going, but there's obviously like, remember there was like episode 9 was going to be Duel of the Fates, right? It was going to be completely different, and Ben was not going to be redeemed in that version. And I hate that. I'm a firm believer. I'm like, what does that teach? Like, if Vader can be redeemed, Kylo Ren sure as hell should be redeemed. That's just my opinion. Like, I feel like that is I don't care how many times it's done. Like, that is a tried and true story, at least in the Skywalker saga. And so it's interesting, but I still want Starkiller as the son. Anyway.
Yeah.
I would love Starkiller as the son. I'm just trying to find ways to bring
literally Sam Witwer's face for the statue design.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to that whole thing of like, is Starkiller going to be? I'm like, listen, nerf him down, whatever. I don't care. I like his character more than I like his abilities. That
still bothers me so much that they're like, oh, he'd be too powerful. I'm like, dude, everyone in the Force Unleashed is absolutely nuts in their power. Vader is too.
Shakti is crazy.
It's not just Starkiller. It's everybody. Did you forget the title, The Force Unleashed? I'm sorry. If you can't read, it's fine. I'll read it out for you.
And the novelization, I've only gotten probably about 50 pages. We do plan on reading that, like going through it in the podcast, which I think would be really cool. But yeah, like in that, they dialed down the battles way more. Like the fight between Ram Koda and Starkiller is way more lightsaber driven. There's some force powers in there, of course, but it feels like a lot more like contained and tamed narrative rather than just like the gamification of the Force of like, you've got a force meter and look how powerful your force pushes and stuff. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry if I talked way too much, but I got to head out. Thank you guys so much for letting me on here. Cole, if you're staying on here, I love you.
Tony, we're at an hour and 40 minutes. This is like one of the longer episodes of Dark Side Secrets ever.
Yeah, I have a feeling if we don't end it, we'll just keep going forever.
Yeah.
So
I got to eat before our thing at 9 too.
Yeah, I got to eat, maybe take a nap too before the next one, bro, because
Yep.
I'm old. But yeah, we appreciate both you guys coming on. We'll just wrap it here. We appreciate everybody in the chat. And yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll see you guys
sub
later.
to Mortis FM right now. Everybody in chat, go sub, go sub, go sub.
Yes, link is in the description. Go sub. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.